Welcome to today's edition of Cracking the Cryptic and the return of the maths professor Dorlir to the channel with a fog of war, no less. So I'm looking forward to this. It's got an interesting title. It's called Corner Prison. And I think we've got to sort of build, I've read the rules, and we seem to have to build killer cages out of the top left-hand corner somehow. And this is presumably difficult to do because it's described as a corner prison. This has got a huge rating on Logic Masters Germany. Lots of great comments from lots of the great and the good of the Sudoku community. So I know we're in for a treat. And if you've never seen Fog of War before, where have you been? This is the great innovation of 2023 in terms of Sudoku solving. So the idea is that you use the logic in the white squares to deduce something, and let's say we entered this digit in correctly, that would clear the fog from all of those cells, and then we might see things in these cells then that would allow us to progress the logic. So it sort of reveals itself gradually. It's such good fun, and it blends itself so well to computer solving. And if you do enjoy this, then do check out. We had the Kickstarter campaign to release sort of Fog of War, which is a novella style thing with Sandra and Nala Fog of War puzzles interspersed, and hugely cool Kickstarter campaign. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen actually, because if you do like Fog of War puzzles, you will certainly enjoy that. My phone is buzzing. That didn't take long. I mean, literally WhatsApp. It's like anyway, what else can I tell you about today? Not a lot. Got no birthdays to do, and no, nothing, I don't think. Just if you enjoy Cracking the Cryptic, consider subscribing. It's costless, and it tells the algorithm, the great YouTube algorithm, that people enjoy logic puzzles, and we think they do. And it is an oasis of calm, this channel, in a strange world. I used to think I was real. Well, no, my sister still thinks I'm really strange. Yeah, I actually think the more time goes on, the more I think I'm the sane one. Anyway, let's have a look at Corner Prison by Dorlir, and I will read you the rules. Here they are. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Digits in a cage don't repeat, and sum to the given clue in the top left corner of the cage. The clue is always given and is on the uppermost row of the cage in the row's leftmost cell. So the clue is always given is in the uppermost row of the cage in the row's leftmost cell. Okay, so what that means, I mean, it's what we'd expect. Let's draw can we draw a strange killer cage in here? Let's draw that as a killer cage. Now what we have to do to work out where the total would be if this was a killer cage, we go, I mean, it's going to be this square. I'm just checking that that's what the rules actually say. Clue is always given. It's in the uppermost row of the cage. Okay, well, that's the uppermost row in the leftmost cell. Yeah, so it's that one. Yeah, that's very clear actually. Now I reread it. So let's draw another one. Let's draw, no, that's far too, we've got to make it so it's difficult, don't we? So there could be a doubt. I mean, if it's that, it's going to be that cell. You just go to the uppermost row, find the leftmost cell in that uppermost row, and that's where the cage total needs to be. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. So if this was a 1, this would have to be a 2 to be consecutive with 1. Additionally, the grid is partially covered in fog, and placing correct digits will clear the fog from the surrounding cells, possibly revealing more clues. Well, I've revealed that already. And that's actually it. So that's all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now this had 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany, so this is clearly not a trivial Fog of War puzzle. We can see this 30 cage is coming here. I don't know, should we use colours today? Let's use colours. So these are at least in the 30 cage. And this cage has no total, which must be the key to the break-in. Because what that tells it, well, this would obviously, if the, yeah, I mean, from the examples we were doing, we know that if this cage never got higher than row 2, so if it never enters row 1, this cell would have to be the cell that contains the clue, and it's just not, is it? We can see there's no clue in it. That means this cage has to get into row 1, and I don't quite, we've got to leave room for a 30 cage. 1, 2, so if it goes, well, it does go there, doesn't it? It definitely goes to here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. So it can't get to here. I don't think it can, because it has to go to this cell. You can see that from the cage outline. And once it's here, it can't be longer than 9 cells long, because there are only 9 different digits in Sudoku, and we can't repeat a digit in a cage. So can we get to there? Well, that would be 4. That's 7. And well, we can't actually. I mean, we obviously can't take either of these squares, because then there wouldn't be a cage boundary here. So we have to sort of start doing this, and I think that's as efficient as we could be, and that's 10 cells. So that tells us actually this cell is green. Now that's going to put a lot of stress on the 30 cage. Look, a 30 cage must be at least 4 cells. Look, we can see the green cage has to get out now, because it can't go here. There's no cage furniture, is there? So if this cell was in the cage, we would see a boundary on its top left side. So that tells us this 30 cage is at least coming to here. It must be 4 cells, because even with 6, 7, 8 and 9 are the maximum digits you could put into a cage, and they would add up to 30 only just. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, I see. Right, so in fact, this 30 cage can't grow any larger than this. And that's because even if it finishes here and we close with as much alacrity and efficiency as we possibly can, the green region is 8 cells now. And I don't know how obvious this is to you all, but if I was to extend this in either direction, I could only extend it to these cells. Then it's going to cost me 2 in terms of the count to do that, because now to close efficiently, you can see that's going to be 10 cells large, because to get around the additional pink cell or purple cell that we're putting in, we have to be very well. You can see if we can't take this cell, it costs us 3 to get back to here. So in fact, oh, hang on, I meant to make this green. I was wondering what was going on there. So that should be 10 cells if my maths is right, and it is, and it can't be 10 cells. So in fact what we now learn is that this cage goes like this cage goes like this cannot grow, so that is 6, 7, 8, 9. And I don't think there's any way that we can't take those 3 cells in the green cage, because, I mean, imagine we just took those 2 and then we tried to zoom around the edge. That's going to obviously be far too many cells again. Now, the only trouble with that is that doesn't mean that this is an 8-cell cage, because it could extend into any one of these cells and reach a count of 9. We just know it must be at least 8. It must take these 8, because it couldn't duck round and swing round any other individual cell and still only remain at most 9 cells large. Oh, I see. Right, so now this is a 5, because in box 1 I haven't put 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in, and this is on a dot. So that's a 5. There we go. That's got to be a 6. That was weird then. I thought it looked to me... Hang on, let me just go back. Yeah. Oh no, I see. It's clearing the fog. That's why I was wondering why it looked like the typeface changed, but it's because it's clearing fog. Now these squares are 1, 2, 3 and 4. And right, and that square is a very peculiar naked single. That's lovely. That is absolutely lovely. Even though I don't know if this cage is complete or not, I do know that this cell cannot be any Sudoku digit other than 6, because it can't repeat a digit in green, and green already has 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in it in box 1, and it can't be 7, 8 and 9 by Sudoku, so it is 6. Ah, there we go. And now, oh, look at this. Green is going there, so the green is a 9-cell cage now. So these 3 digits are 7, 8 and 9, because we've already put every low digit up to 6 in the cage. And as Maverick's taken off. It's funny to see Maverick at this time of year. Maverick is normally much more active in the summer months. So 6 is down here now. We've revealed something of a 21 cage. Now that cage, I think, is going there and there. I mean, it might go further than that, but I think it's definitely going into that cell and that cell. So it's at least 5 cells. Now, it can't be more than 6 cells, because the triangular number for 6 is 21. 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 21. So if this went there, took those 2 cells, it would be 7 cells large, and the triangular number for 7 is 28, and this obviously is much lower than that. So it could grow by 1 cell, and if it grows by 1 cell, we can see that's either there. No, it can't be there, because then that would have to contain this clue, because that would be the uppermost leftmost cell. So it's either core 8 at the moment and finished, or it goes there, there, or there for its final cell. And we've got some dots in it. Now, right. Okay, I see how this is working actually. This is pretty again. Now, it's not telling me about how many cells the 21 cage has got in it, but I do now know something about this. So this is 3 consecutive digits, and we can see that because you can't repeat a digit along these strings. These 2 are consecutive, these 2 are consecutive. So this is a run of 3 digits. Imagine if you put 1 in here. This would be 2, this would be 3, because it couldn't be 1, because these 2 see each other. Now, that's interesting, because these can't be 7, 8 and 9. Because if they were 7, 8 and 9, these 2 cells would have no fill. And they can't be 6. So these are low digits. They're from the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And those 2 cells, look, being from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, that's absolutely huge, because that's creating a quintuple in column 3, and the 5 of this quintuple is down on the dot. So this must be a 5-4 pair, I suppose. And that square can't be it. Right, so imagine this was 4, 5. What would this be? It would have to be 6. It can't be. So this is 4, this is 5, and that's 3, and that's loads of digits in the middle of this. Right, okay. This is loads of digits. Hang on, that's a 4 now by Sudoku. This is very cool, this puzzle. It's sort of a build your own cage puzzle. Look, there are now 6 digits in this 21 cage. So we know it's the triangular number for 6. It's all of the digits up to and including 6. And 43 cage, that's got 8 cells in it. Now, you may wonder how I know that. And the reason I know that is because of a little known secret that I only share with my very favourite people. But of course, if you're watching this after 50 minutes, you're definitely one of my favourite people. I will share it with you. Just keep it to yourself. There is a secret about Sudoku, and it is the fact that any complete column, any complete row, any complete box of the Sudoku, by the rules of Sudoku, must contain the digits 1 to 9 once each, and those digits sum to 45. So let's think about that in the context of a cage. If we had a 9-cell cage, what would it sum to? Well, it would, because it would have to contain all different digits, it would sum to 45. So how many digits are in a 43 cage? Well, it must be missing a digit or digits that sum to 2. Well, it can't be missing 2 ones. So it must be missing 1, 2. And that means that it's 8 cells large. And that means, well, actually, okay, I think we've got the same thing that was going on in box 1 going on down here. Because this cage, let me just label this up. Let's give this orange. Oh yeah, that's good actually, because I can make this blue and they're very colorblind friendly. Look, we know this 43 is 8 cells, but it's definitely not the same as this cage. Because you can see, this left-hand grid furniture in this cell would not be necessary if this 43 cage was part of this cage. So this is coming down here, it's 8 cells. It's not part of this one, which is coming down here. And this one has to have, well, probably that cell as its clue cell. So there is a cell in orange that is in a higher row than this position, because otherwise this would have the clue, and it doesn't. Hang on, we can keep going with blue. That must be orange, because then we need to get into a higher row. And you can see none of these squares have any cage furniture. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this has to keep going. So in fact, blue is completely delineated, which is really weird. And 2, oh, nearly. So where is 2 in box 7? Well, we know it can't be in blue from the logic we just discussed, and it can't be in column 3 because this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. So 2 is in one of those squares. Oh, that's beautiful now. Where's 2 in box 4? It's not there. And it can't be in the 43 cage. We've already established that. So that's a 2. And okay, so those squares are not 2 anymore. And 1 in this box, I don't know where it goes, but it goes in one of those squares. So that's a 1. That's clearing fog. That's a 6. 6 is in one of those squares. Oh, I've got a bit of logic I can see immediately here for this white dot. So actually, let's come here because I can see something. I don't know if this is what we're meant to do next, but look, this white dot sees 2, 4, and 6. Now, what's the nature of a white dot? It's consecutive digits, so it must be an even digit on there, and there must be an odd digit on there. Now, there are only 4 Sudoku digits that are even: 2, 4, 6, and 8. So there must be 8 on this dot. So it's from 7, 8, and 9. Right, that's beautiful actually. It's not 8, 9. It's not 8, 9 because where would the 1 go that would have to accompany the 8 and the 9 to get us to 18? Well, the answer is nowhere, because there's a 1 in one of these 2 squares in box 4, and there's a 1 here. So we can't put any 1s in those squares. So if imagine this was an 8, 9 pair. We can't put 1 here because it can't. This 1 can't be in this cage because this is the highest leftmost cell in the cage. So the 1 in this cage would be here or here where it can't be. So this is 7, 8. And we still can't put a... Well, we nearly can't put a 1 in it. It would be very hard to put a 1 in this cage. The only way I think you could put a 1 in this cage, because we're on 15 and we've got to get to 18, would be to have a 1-2 pair. And because we couldn't put the 1 here, or anywhere in this row, it would have to be here. So the only way that this is a 4-cell 18 cage is very specifically if it's 7, 8, 2, 1. I'm just trying to see why that doesn't work, and I can't see why that doesn't work. Now, hang on. If it's not that, though, if it's a 3-cell cage, then it needs a 3, and that can't go there. So this would be a 3. Right, okay, well, there's a tiny deduction then. So that square is always 2 or 3. And because either this is a 3-cell cage, in which case the 3 has to be there, or it's a 4-cell cage, in which case it goes down to here, but that cell is the 2. So that cell is 2 or 3, and it has a friend over there, so there's a 2 or a 3 up there. Wow, okay, what goes on this white dot? Now, remembering our odds and evens again, can this domino have a 2 on it? No, because if it's got 2 on it, what are we going to accompany the 2 with? You can't accompany it with 1. That's there, and you can't accompany it with 3 because that will kill that cell. So that doesn't work. So the even digit on here is 4. I don't know if we know what it's with. Hang on, 4. It's either 3 or 5, obviously. It's definitely got 4 on it. And don't know. Not sure. But this is I tell you what, this is one of my favourite boxes I've seen in a Sudoku in a long time. This box is just absolutely gorgeous from a sort of parity perspective. Because now that cell, well, no, the question to ask now is where is 9 in this box? Because it can't go there. If you put 9 there, none of those squares can be 9. But this is a 7, 8, 9 triple in this 9-cell cage. So one of those is 9, and whichever one is 9 is ruling 9 out of that square. So I think that's a 9, which it is. And now, okay, so now my 18 cage has got 4 cells, so we know it goes 2, 1. So 2 is up there, 1 is up here, and okay, so this is a 3 or a 5. It can't be 4, remember, we need the 4 on the dot. There's a 45, is that the, yes, this 45 cage is orange now, because it's meeting the cell that we know orange must have extended into in this cell. So those are all orange. We know blue is finished, don't we? And okay, hang on, let me think about this. So, oh, bobbins, look, that's a naked single. I didn't spot that at all. Well, yeah, this cell sees 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a 7, 8, 9 triple, so it's 1. Sorry, that's been available for a while. I don't know if that would have helped me with any of the logic. I hope that wouldn't have destroyed that logic I just did in that box, because I really liked that. It's always the risk, though, is that by by missing things you find other things. Right, so now 9 is one of those. Oh, hang on, we know what these digits are, in fact, because we've got a 7, 8 pair. So we have not put 6, 5, 6 and 9 into this row. And okay, 1 is in one of these 2 squares. There's still very much an opportunity for a 3 in the corner down here. Okay, let's look at these 3 digits. They are 2, 4 and 5 by Sudoku. But that one we know can't be 2, because it's in a cage that can't contain a 2. Right, so that's 4 or 5, which has a... Oh, that's nothing. Okay, I'm getting stuck now. Sorry about this. Right, what have we not used? We've not used the great big orange cage really at all. Right, I see. Okay, goodness me. Right, where is 1 in the great big orange cage? This is a 9-cell cage because it sums to the secret. So it's got to have 1 of every digit in it. Where's its 1? It's not there, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. It's not there because there's a 1, 2, 3 triple looking at it. It's in none of these 3 squares because there's a 1 in the box, so it is there. Ah, you rotten puzzle. Well, no, hang on. This might help me here. I was thinking that's really not revealed very much, but that does give me that digit, which is interesting for this cell, perhaps. That's white dotted. Well, yeah, that's got to be a 6, I think. It can't... Well, yes, oh, look, if I'd have pencil marked the bottom of this column, you can see that all of these digits are really high. They're all 6, 7, 8s and 9s. But that is, well, it's not a really low number, but it is 4 or 5. So the only way they can be consecutive is if that's 6 and that's 5. So that takes 6 out of these squares. And these squares now don't have 5 in, so they're a 2, 4 pair. I'd love to know what these 2 are. Do these have some correspondence with this one? Well, we know that one is down in one of those 2 cells, but I don't think we know which one it is. 3 is in one of those 2 squares in this column. So if this was an 8, 9, yeah, okay, so whatever digit is not here is over here. And that digit, whatever that is, that's obviously a very high digit. Ah, 4. Hang on. Okay, these 2 squares are interesting, I think, because that digit, whatever that digit is, it must appear in the blue cage, because it's only 2 that's not allowed to appear in the blue cage. So that digit is in the blue cage, and it's in one of those 2 squares, but also 4 is in the blue cage and is in one of these 2 squares. So this is from 4, 7, 8 and 9, and there is definitely a 4 in here. Ah, no, nearly. Now, if that's a 4, that has to be a 3. If that's a 4, that's a 4, because we know there's a 4 on this domino. So it'll be a 4 up here. I'm not seeing this now. Okay, what about... Okay, what about that digit in this row? Because that digit has to appear, obviously, in this row of the Sudoku, but it can't be in those squares, and it can't repeat in orange. So that square is in one of those 2 squares. And that is... I don't even really know. I could pencil mark it sort of in a sneaky way by doing that. But that's not really brilliant, is it? No, it's not really brilliant. Sorry, I'm now completely nonplussed by this. That digit has the same sort of property the other way round. So that digit is there, I'm going to claim, in row 8. This, let's make that red, or ready orange. It can't go in those squares by Sudoku, and it can't repeat in its own cage. So it goes there. So those 2 are the same. And that, right, so this digit is from 3, 7, 8 and 9. See, if we knew that was 3, but we can see that by Sudoku, this digit goes in one of those squares. Now those squares can't be 3, so it would have to be 3 here with a 4, and that would be 4. I don't quite know if that feels possible, but if this was 7, 8, or 9, it could go in either of them. Oh no, hang on, that's it. Well, it's nearly it. Okay, sorry, this is really clever actually. That cell is in blue already. So by Sudoku, we've learned that this red flash digit is in one of those squares. We now know it's that one. It's got to be that one. That is the red digit, because it can't repeat in blue where it's already appeared. Right, that feels very interesting. No jokes about parties. Okay. What does that mean? No, I was about to say something that was totally and utterly incomprehensibly stupid. Do not be stupid, Simon. That's not going to help with solving the puzzle. Oh, come on. If this is 3, this is 4. If this is 7, 8, or 9, that's 7, 8. All 3 of these become 7, 8, or 9. That would put 3 here in column 1. There would be a 3 in there. No, okay. Sorry, I've not got this yet. I don't think I'm far away. There's got to be. Oh, hang on. Have I been very slow again here? Right, look at this row now. Where's 2 in it? And the answer is I've not got a clue, but it does seem to have to be in right down here. But I've got this cell as a green digit. So now if this was 2, I don't think you could put 2 in row 8 anymore, because it couldn't repeat in orange. It can't be that digit, and it couldn't go there because in row 9 we need a 2. So that's become a 4, and that's a 2. And now 4 is over here. Wow, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know. Does that mean one of those is a 4? Because it did reveal something, didn't it? I didn't really see what it was, but it definitely seemed to reveal something. I didn't mean to do that. That's not how to solve these. Although some people apparently do solve them that way. That is cheating. Okay, so one of these is a 4. So one of these is a 2 by Sudoku now. Okay. Ah, I see. Right. So I was about to say, let's look at that cell. And then in my brain I said, don't be silly. And then in my brain I saw that is actually looking at a lot of digits, so that might not be so silly to look at this. This square is 3, 4, 7, or 8, in theory at least, but just from the row. But it's already in orange, so it can't be 4 because 4 is there in orange. So it's 3, 7, or 8. But in this row, look, it can't be the red digit, which is there, and it can't repeat in orange. So that digit goes in one of those 2 squares. Which means these squares, do I already know this, that these are from 3, 4, 7, and 8? I probably do. I just haven't pencil marked liberally enough to have appreciated it. But that square is the same as one of those digits that's not the green digit. This is very unusual to have to do this fog of war puzzles using sort of colouring Now, what does that mean? Does it mean anything? I rather fear it might not. That digit is down there, because that digit can't obviously appear here. It can't repeat in blue. It can't be the red digit because the red digit is underneath it. So that digit in box 8 is in one of those squares, and then it gets transposed down there. Which may or may not be important. I don't know. Okay, how do we do this then? Is this in some way obvious? I'm scanning around the rest of the grid now because I'm sort of, I feel I've exhausted the logic down here a little bit. 5. Maybe we think about it differently. Where's 5 in orange? I think we haven't put 5 in yet, have we? So 5 is in one of those squares. Well, that's true. I think the same is true of 6. Look, so there is a 6 in this domino, which is fine, all well and good, isn't it? But it's not good enough. Is there a way we can... That cell is not 9. I don't think that's going to do anything. Or is it? Does that put more pressure on this cell? I don't think so. I think... Oh, I'm wondering... I suspect this can't be 8 actually, but it's partly for a uniqueness reason, so I can't use that. Because if this is 8 now, the only way it could be 8 on the dot is with a 7 here. So this would be an 8-7 pair, and that's an 8-7 pair. And there would be no way, I think, of disambiguating which way round that 7-8, these 7-8 dominoes would go. It could be 7-7s or 8 and 8-8s there. It could be 8-8s there and 7-7s there, and they would both work. So, for uniqueness reasons, I don't think this can be an 8, which would mean this is even. So this would be 4 or 8 if I used uniqueness, but I won't. So that's annoying. Okay, so let's think again. What do we do now? 4 in this row. 4 in row 6 is in this domino. So we can ask where 4 goes in column 7. Look, it's not in those squares. It's not in these squares. It's not that square. So 4 is up at the top of column 7. But I don't know if we can use that. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I'm baffled. What else could we do here? Here's another interesting point I hadn't spotted. This is a triple of 7, 8, 9. The 9 of which is in one of those 2 squares. So that can't be a 9 because remember those 3 digits are all different. So that's 7 or 8. I'm just wondering. I don't think we can do this. Right, hang on. Maybe we can actually. That cell... Where is that cell in this cage, in the green cage at the top? And the answer is there, isn't it? Those 2 digits are the same digit. I don't really have a good way of showing that. I'll use the black. Because that digit must appear in green. It's not those 2, so it's there. Now, is that doing something to the world? Probably not, but I don't know. So in this box, this digit is in one of these two squares. But so that digit is not the red digit now, because the red digit is in the same column as this digit. Does that matter? I think it probably doesn't, but I'm not certain. So I'm not sure. I'm actually going to pencil mark this square so I can look at this square as part of a set down this column. See if I can get rid of, if I could get rid of 9 from here, then the 9 in the blue set would be there, and that wouldn't be 9, and that would be 9, and that would be a 7-8 pair, and this would be a 3-9 pair, and that would put 3-9 on this dot, and that would be 4 or 8. It would all get very interesting, but I don't know. I don't think that is... That feels too remote to me to be the next step. I think there's going to be something simpler. I suspect it's to do... Well, I mean, what else can it be? It must be to do with the geography of this stuff. It must be. I know there's a 4 in one of those two squares. So I know if that's the 4, this has to be from 7, 8, and 9. Is that somehow important? It might be. I don't know. Well, it's not. Hang on. I've got. Oh, this 4 is. That's what's flashing that. I was remembering that this digit had to be down here as well. I don't really have a way of showing. Have I run out of colours altogether, or can I manufacture a colour that I can? Maybe I'll make this dark green, and then I can put greens up here like that. Now, is that helping me? I don't think it is. Well, no, I'm wrong. I am wrong. That I can see something from this. So where is the digit that's that, which is a 3, 7 or an 8, in this box? Now the answer is still, I don't know. But I do think it's definitely in one of those squares, isn't it? By Sudoku, it can't be a 1, 5 or a 6. So this dark green digit, which is not 4, is in one of those two cells. I'll give that a little flash, and that means it's down here somewhere. What does that mean, though? So I know it's not the red digit. It's not the red digit, which is definitely there. So one of these two is definitely this green digit. Now, is that in some way important? So that, oh yes, it is. That can't be 3 then. Well, that is interesting. Well, yeah, I think it's interesting. That can't be a 3. So it's a 7 or an 8. And that means these can't include 3, because we know that this panoply down here is a 4 and this digit. So these squares here are from 4, which we know is down. This is really interesting. There's something going on, I think, with 7s and 8s. I might be wrong about this, but what I'm seeing now, well, in fact, it's even simpler. There's a 7-8 pair in this row. So these squares are 3 and 4. Okay, that's underwhelming. I agree that's underwhelming. But I know one of these is 4 by Sudoku, but I also know one of these is dark green by Sudoku. So 9 comes out of here. So these two squares are this digit and 4. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Golly, I mean, if this one was dark green, that would be a 7-8 pair, and that would be a 9, and that would be a 3, and that would be a 3, and that would be a 4, and everything would sort of work, wouldn't it? Do I know about this digit in the context of the world? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have chosen dark green because it's the same as this cage. I'm going to change this cage, I think. Let's make this cage at the top. Running out of colours. I could... No, I've used red down at the bottom. I want to use grey, but that's so ridiculous in the context of a fog puzzle. Do I need... No, I do. I do need to know. I do need to keep track of this cage somehow. Sorry. I could go into further afield. Look at that. I don't use that colour very often. Maybe there's a reason for that. That colour. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? I can see that's a weird colour. Right, so we'll go back to the other palette now. So these two digits are the same. And they are different to this digit. Okay, so this digit is in one of those two positions. That must be true. Which means well, we already know it's in one of those two positions, but we don't know which one. Right, okay. What's this? Have we actually learnt anything from this? Or am I still floundering around? I thought my brain had cottoned onto something a few minutes ago, but I think I led myself astray. And that's very annoying. What about this? That digit is the same as that digit. That digit definitely has to appear in this cage. And it's got to be in one of these squares. It's not that one by Sudoku, so it's either here or in one of those two positions. Now, does that matter? Yeah, no. No, I don't think so, actually. I thought for a moment I might be able to prove that it... No, sorry. Whatever thought it was that I had has ghosted through my brain and let me down. Right, that's not how to do it. This is really... I'm actually enjoying this. I'm stuck. But it's stuck in a way that makes me respect Dorlir. I already respected Dorlir. I always get sort of imposter syndrome when I solve puzzles by people like Dorlir, because that maths professors would want to watch these videos I find baffling. But... okay, what can we say about the world now? Is it more obvious than it once was what's going on? I don't know. What we want to do... I bet there's a way that you can prove that red isn't 3. Because if red isn't 3... this would be 7 or 8 then. And which 7 or 8 would it be? Is it that one or that one? No, it would be the green one. We know that we know there is green down here. So if this was 7 or 8, it is green. If this is 7 or 8, it's green, and that would be 9. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. Or is it? No, it is true. Ah, yes. Yes. Goodness me, I am appalled with myself. What is wrong with my brain? Simon? No, I'm going to have a stern word with my brain. Naughty brain. Naughty brain. Right. The point is, of course, I've now seen, and you've been shouting at me with justification for ages, is that this is dark green, and we've now got this to be 7 or 8, and that is something else. Well, what's this then? That's the red digit, and it can't be 7 or 8, because it sees that one there, and it sees that one there, and this one is different from this one, patently. They're in the same row. So that square is 3 or 9, and that's the red square. So this is now interesting. This square is now not 7 anymore. Ah, that's not actually what I would have preferred. It's already in my brain. I sort of knew this wasn't a 7-8 pair by the uniqueness point that we had earlier. Okay, but red is now 3 or 9. Must have done something. What has it done? So this is 4 or 8. So, if that's 8, that's 9, that's 4. These two are both 7 in this way of the world. And I still can't see what that would mean. If this is 8, this would be a 4-8 pair. This would be 9, so this would be 7, and it would be the same as this. Golly. Or is it something to do with... Oh, no, I know, I've got it again. Oh, this is appalling. I'm so sorry. I've just spotted something else that's completely obvious that I deserve to be shouted at. There is green in blue. This digit, which is this digit, is in the blue cage already, so it can't be there. Oh dear. And that means well, maybe it doesn't do very much. So that digit now is not the green digit, which is already in blue. That is the green digit, which is a 7 or an 8. So that's now fixed. But now that square is a 9, because that sees both flavours of 7 and 8. This is beautiful. This is ridiculously clever for a sort of fog puzzle. So that's now not the dark green one. That's the dark green one. I think I have to leave it with its flash. But now I've got a 7-8 pair in this column, so that square is not 7 or 8. I've got a 3-9 pair in blue, which... does that do something? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure that it does. Yeah, so it's all about keeping track of where these digits filter through these big cages in boxes 7, 8, and 9, and that one. Okay, but have we done it now? Have we actually learnt enough to help us out? The answer is I really am not sure. I have got a 3-9 pair I've just discovered here, which I suppose takes... okay. Okay, that's suspicious. That takes 9 out of this square, which means that square, which is not green, is that one. So this is now... yeah, this must be relevant. Well, I mean, there is a 4, 7, 8 triple now in this row. So these squares are from... yeah, so this digit... we know this is green, 4, and red. So that digit is up there. Oh, that's beautiful. Good grief. Right, so where is this digit in this box? Bear in mind that this is the same as that digit. And it can't repeat in orange. It's there, isn't it? Right, so that digit is 7 or 8 and is not 2. So that digit is 2, which means there's a 2 up here. And now that digit is 7 or 8, so that digit is the other one, which is the dark green one. Oh, that's it. That's it, look. Because now that digit has to go there in box 8, which means that this digit can't be 4. So that digit's 4, and if that digit's 4, that digit's 3. Good grief, that's taken me a long time. Okay. So that's 4 now. That's going to clear fog. Hooray. And okay, that loses its greenliness and its flash. That loses its flash and regains its greenliness. So green is up here somewhere. That's this 3-5 thing isn't resolved, I don't think. These squares are now... well, yes, the 3. Let's use what we've now learnt to our advantage. So 3's go into some cells in the grid. These squares are now 5, 6, and 9, which is probably resolved, but I can't see immediately how. That's obviously not 9. That's obviously not 6. And for our next trick, we will... I don't know. Come on. That's not a 1 anymore because of the, this cell. Yeah, okay. Maybe that square is restricted, actually. It could... no, it can't. Well, that's lovely, in fact. It can't be 2 for a lovely reason. That can't be a 1 or a 3. So, in fact, 1 and 2 are locked over here. And that means this square is a 7 or an 8. In this, look at the geometry of this box. We've not put the second 7 or 8 in, and we know it's the black 7 or an 8. Which means this square, which can't now be 7 or 8 by Sudoku, has to be a 6 or a 9. Oh, that's gorgeous as well. Good grief. This is so clever, Dorlir. It is a corner prison. You basically, you know, we're on prison break here and we're being taken on a very narrow path. But look, if this was 9, what would this be? This would be a 9-8 pair. And there would be too many high digits in row 3. We'd have 4 cells that have to be selected from just high numbers, the digits 7, 8 and 9. So this can't be 9. It must be 6. Oh, well, that's right. And now we get to disambiguate all of these funny things that we've been dealing with all the way through. So this is going to be, I hope, massive. Right, this is now a 4-8 pair. Let's see what this has done. Has it done anything else? Well, that's now 7, obviously. So lots of fog is getting cleared, which is good to see. This square can't be 7, so that's 5. That's going to clear fog. A new cage has emerged. That's not 5. Actually, that's not 6, look. And, okay. Can we do more? Quite probably. I'm not seeing how to. We need 5, 6, 8 and 9. No, no, I don't like the look of that. What about, could we've got more dottage here. Maybe the dottage will help us. Actually, maybe no. I'm going to come down here because I've suddenly realised these digits are known. They are 2, 7 and 9. We know that's not 7. Okay, so these digits have got to be 6 and 5. Ah, right. So we get more fog revealed. 5 goes there, 6 goes there, 9 goes here, 5 goes here, 6 goes here. And we've got something going on in this 28 cage where we've got 11's worth of digits. We need 17 more. It looks like we're heading up towards a total that could make that big or little, to be honest. Okay, so that might not be where we're meant to look. What about this column? We've not put in 2, 4 and 9. So let's put those in up there and see if that helps us. The answer seems to be no. We could... Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure where to look, to be honest. That can't be 9 by Sudoku using this cell. Oh dear. What do we do now? There's probably... It's going to be something like that's a naked single, isn't it? There's going to be some weirdity that I'm... Maybe in fact this column. We need 5, 6, 8 and 9. So that is an 8. Oh, look. That's an 8 or a 9. There you go. That's out of the blue. So now in this row we need 1s, 2s and 3s. So that is a 1, 2 or a 3. That is a 1, 2 or 3. What did I need here? I needed 17 more. Oh, look. Well, if that's not 8, I can't do it. Because these squares would add up to a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. That's only 10. The box would only add up to 21. So that has to be 8. And that's 4 now. Ah, 4. That's 4. That's 3. And what are we up to now then? 23. So we need 5 more. So it's got to be a 2, 3 pair. There we go. No fog was getting cleared when I put all that in, but hopefully that was not illogical, Captain. Okay. So what do we need in this column? 1, 7, 9 into these squares. Well, I wonder if that can be... Oh, it can. I thought maybe we can disprove 1. Oh, this is awful, actually. I think this has all sorts of options available to it. Okay. Yeah, these are 2, 7 and 8. And we've got the bones of a cage. There's a cage here that I mean, I can't really see it, but it's in those cells. So that's going to have a total in it, which would be really very useful to know. Ah. Ooh, right, here's an interesting thought. Let's just ask the question, what is that digit? Now I think, and I might be wrong, that is a naked single. I might be wrong about that. I think in my brain I'm getting that can only be 9, but that could be... Let's pencil mark it fully and I'll explain why I don't think it can be each of the other digits. So from the column it's 5, 6, 8 or 9. Well, it's not 6. It's not 5, which is already in its cage. And now it's 8 or 9. But if it was 8, where would I put 8 in this box? Because if that's 8, that can't be 8. And there's nowhere else for 8, because you couldn't repeat the 8 in the cage. So I think that's 9. And it is 9, which means these two are not 9. And that's not 9. This is lovely, isn't it? So now 9 in this box has just got... Oh, 9's on the dot now. This is so lovely. This is a very, very clever puzzle. It's surprisingly brilliant, actually. It's very unusual in my experience. I'm not sure I ever have done a fog of war. Even the rock hard ones that have needed colouring like this. That's now an 8. That's a 9. So this is, we can do all this. That's 7, 8. That all goes in. Okay. Oh, I see. There's a cage total. 41. 7-cell cage. Using the secret, we're missing 2 digits that add up to 4, so they are 1 and 3. So that's definitely not a 1. Oh, that's actually underwhelming, isn't it? I thought that would just break this all open. But we need 2, 4, 6, and 7, I think. And that's a naked single then. That can only be 6. And this probably is under a great deal of pressure. It's 2, 4, or 7, but it can't be 4 or 7. So that's 2. That's 1. That's 4. That's 7. There's no fog to confirm any of these suspicions now, which is slightly discombobulating. That's not 2. So this is a 1. That's a 3. 3, 1, 2, 3. 3, 5 by Sudoku. 5 goes there, and that squares a something 4. Okay, and that's 6. And that's 5, and there's some sort of weird error checking on, which I wouldn't normally have at my disposal. But there we go. I think that is how to solve the puzzle. Let's see. Yes, you solved the puzzle. The puzzle is correct. 200 people have solved that. That's very impressive. That shows how popular Dorlir's puzzles are, with good reason, as you've just seen, and also Fog of War puzzles. And that is very, very... I was slow at the bottom. I couldn't see... I had some of the right thoughts, but then my brain let me down in terms of how to sort of knit those together. This cage, I kept not spotting that things were bouncing back and forwards along this dog leg here. And I think if I'd seen any of those steps a bit more in a slightly quicker or clearer way, I could have done it more quickly. But I actually don't think that was an easy puzzle. There was quite a lot going on, and the way you had to knit the 7s and the 8s together, it was beautiful. It's beautiful, wasn't it? Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.